All right. What's up, folks? I said, that's all, folks. So I think his name is Antonio Brown. All right. I don't know if I remember the middle name hearing it. I don't know if that's the same dude. Really don't care. I really don't be knowing these people. I don't be knowing these fools. I don't watch TV, man. I don't care about any of you or your fake leagues. They're all satanic leagues. They're all a joke. And all these folks are brainwashed and under Monarch mind control and MK Ultra programs. Like I said, if anybody wants to talk to me, right, on this network, now we will do everything in a completely professional manner. And you will have to release a video on your channel, right, and let me know that you want to do an interview, right? And it's just so crazy because, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard for me to communicate with the public and the people. Again, all this has to do with the fact that these people have an agenda. And it's funny because y'all send mixed messages and you're a walking contradiction. On the one hand, you're trying to pretend that you're on their side, but I'm the guy who defended all these folks. You see, that's why it doesn't make any sense. They're trying to act like they're disguising something. Nothing is disguised. I have full evidence for this federal lawsuit. I'm guaranteed to win. It's a Supreme Court case. Okay. Um, there's a whole lot of parties involved in this federal lawsuit. Okay. And like I said, it's really quite a few lawsuits that I'll be filing. I just have to sit down with an attorney and see what's the smartest way to go about filing them and how many lawsuits will actually be filed. Right. So, long story short, I'm the guy who defended all these folks, just like I did with the women, right? Your society, my issue with all of y'all is y'all don't step up. Y'all have had every day to tell these people off, tell them reality, you know what I mean? Um, and you don't. You know, it's just like when the chat room's open, they're all quiet as a mouse and they don't say nothing, but I'm about to have 4,000 subscribers. You understand? It just doesn't make any sense. We vastly outnumber all of these people, these illegal organizations. We vastly outnumber them. You know, all that the people had to do was make a stand. Nobody's made a stand with me but me. I've had to do it all by myself, you know, Christina and I. So at the end of the day, the people like Antonio Brown, what group does Antonio Brown come from? The same group that I defended. The reason why all this started because these other, you know, groups, whatever, these organizations, whatever you want to call them, that are evil, they have a vested interest. Clearly, I mean, they've spent millions and millions of dollars funding all this stuff. They have a vested interest in that group's downfall, the group that Antonio Brown is from. They don't like you. They're not your friend. You're not on here defending anyone. What are you talking about? See, when you get highly confused people who operate in an irregular manner and they're unstable and they don't know what they're doing, and then you just send them out to do your dirty work and your evil bidding because y'all can't do it yourself because you're all cowards. Let's just say the truth. You're all terrified, especially of Batman, right? When you do that, this is what you get. What I call a cluster. You understand? And you get a bunch of people running around like chickens who ain't talking about nothing. They ain't talking about nothing. They ain't saying nothing. Again, you are not in defense of Antonio Brown or this group, right? You are the whole problem, and you are who is funding basically their downfall. Let's get real. I stood up for these folks since day one. I've done nothing but try to offer them the right advice and help them. And you just can't help dudes like that. That's what I realized. Members of that group, if that's what we're going to call them, a group, I mean, it's a lost cause, man. Seriously. Like, let's get real. It's been a lost cause. And me personally, I'm just at the point that I just can't stand any of you because, I mean, how could I? I mean, bro, I gave people t shirts to start a clothing line in the hood down here. They ran away with it, and they tried to like sell my t-shirts that were mine, which is what they were supposed to do, right? Because it was supposed to be a business, but they were supposed to sell them and obviously like, give me a part of the profit. They didn't do that. He ran off with the t-shirts and he went and sold them or tried to or whatever I gave him, right? So that he could try to, I don't know, I think he was like an addict or something and that was his problem, right? And that was when I did all that boxing match stuff. Remember? So I had a legit company, an LLC open, and I was trying to build a company. And all I said is, as a man, you're giving me your word, right? That you're gonna help me build this clothing line. I don't really care what you do with them, but what I'd like you to do is, try to help distribute with me. I paid for all the product myself out of my own pocket to create the t-shirts. They were really cool t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here like, hey, let's get this business started. Can you work with me and help me to promote this clothing line? And he didn't do that. You understand? So then he was hiding and running from me. And this was a big guy, mind you, that we were cool when we were, around each other. We recorded a song. It's on TyreseSneed.com when I put it out. And, this is the behavior that gets exhibited. This is what these people do. And it's just ridiculous. When you can't keep your word as a man, I have no respect for you. None, And this was way back in the day, and I don't sweat nothing. I don't care. But it's just the principle of the matter that they don't keep their word. They continue to show that they're spineless. And if you push the issue with any of them in that group, they'll always back down. You saw it when I was at the OKC State Fair. One of them tried to act like he was scary or intimidating, right? Backed him down right there verbally. He ran away, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, he was still on the same thing, talking nonsense, making no sense. And even the OKCPD was right there telling him, well, if you're going to start talking like that, then, they were going to arrest him basically, right? But I mean, the truth is that I had already stood up to him and backed him down, you know what I mean? And he went and ran away and tucked his tail between his legs. You understand? And again, mind you, these were pretty big guys. It was really two of them. And then the other one that I had a full-length conversation with about who I am and what I do for a living, which is this Batman stuff, and that I'm the real thing. He immediately he gets on the phone with his head pastor as if they have any authority and they're anybody and anybody cares, and he starts whining to him. This guy in the whatever shirt I was wearing that day is blah blah blah. I didn't do nothing. I sat there, I was nice to you, but if we're doing security and you're screening, having them go through the screens because they're metal detectors because of the incident that happened a year prior, right? And we're checking to make sure you don't got nothing on you. Well, then that's the job we're doing. I was in the middle at that time. I was the one who knew how to do everything nobody else did because I've done bar security for years. I'm an expert at any security, any. I've done security as ACL and literally found everything them addicts had in their shoes. Said, take your shoes off. Like we would literally run through every process. I know how to do all that stuff. And I caught about 6 of them trying to bring stuff in, right, into ACL in a row pretty much. Like the minute they had me do it, I was better than anyone because I understand how these criminals think. I have intuition. They would be like, I'd be like, take off your shoes. They're like, really? Do I really have to take off my shoes? Yes. Take off your shoes. They take off the shoes. I'd find a cartridge right in their shoe. I have a gift. This is what I do. Now, people online, like I said, you could say whatever you want, but I'm your worst nightmare because I've already caught you. You see, I already have the evidence that I need. It's damning evidence. I mean, there's no way for anyone to move with me, on me, or win. It's a wrap. The case is a guaranteed win. The lawsuits. So, like I said, when you got people who want to talk in confusion and delusion all day, and that's more important to them, I mean, look at what I'm talking about, you know? And it's crazy because they're acting just like this other group. You know, this other group, the reason, there we go, the man went out his way to say hi to me. That's nice of him. So, this other group, the reason why they're crashing out, right, is because they have nothing going for them. They're in desperation. They've been in desperation forever. You know, I mean, it's just crazy how I'm content with whatever little I have. And that's the thing. It's all mental, man. It's all about patience. Patience is a virtue, man. Patience is the hardest thing, but it's very necessary. Antonio Brown was supposedly what, a football player, right? I'm just trying to figure out if it's the middle name that I've heard before. Like Tarver, is that him? Antonio Tarver Brown, something like that? I've heard something, some name like that. I think that might be him, but I'm just going to say Antonio Brown. I want to make sure that I give you all the right name and ID for what we're doing here. Somebody threw fruit out and everything on the street. So the reason that they're all crashing out, think about it. Illuminati issues a societal slogan called crashing out. They just did this recently. It couldn't have been more than maybe several months ago to a year. They issue out these slogans. They brainwash your society, meaning most of you. And then all of these little homies who all claim they're tough, they all claim they're the toughest thing ever. And they're a group of people that have been weak since the beginning of time, right? And every single member of that group does exactly what they're told with that phrase. It's deeper. There's another honk on the highway. It's deeper than what people want to say and claim. That's mind control. And that's what they have y'all under. So again, you're dealing with a group that they think they balling, they think they chasing money. These people are being mentally mind controlled. All of them. Not one of them. All of them. Steph Curry is under MK Ultra. His handler is Obama. Obama was born in Hawaii. Real name was Barry Soetoro. He was raised in schools to give speeches on fear, just like my Aunt Carly Fiorina, who's been plotting on me since before I was born. The agenda of which they're promoting is the agenda in the past with the evil guy with the mustache that we've all heard of. That's the agenda they're pushing, right? And we've been told forever that they're bringing that to America, and the entire government's purpose, this government, is to bring that here. They've trained military soldiers against the American people for years. Okay. I think some of the military, hopefully a lot, said, forget this, we ain't doing this. So they started dipping, okay, and getting upset, you know what I mean, like any normal patriot would, right? But it's all mind control implementation. This is why I look down on a lot of you. This is why I laugh. This is why, and I really don't, I try to be compassionate, but this is why I understand things from a different level and spectrum. This entire system comes from your government. Your government is not your friend. This entire system was designed to control us. This entire system was designed for our downfall. That's why people like Joe Budden and anybody from the hood Back in the day, we was all talking about how they had a what? How on every corner, the government built a liquor store and then a you know what store. Because they want what? What do they want everyone to do to each other? Common sense. Come on, man. This whole society was designed against us. You know what I mean? People have to wake up, man. There's no longer an option, bro. You're running out of time here. You know what I mean? You got to wake up, bro. We've been trying to wake you up. I have for my entire life. Y'all folks don't wake up. No, the person who's helping all these people is me. Well, why would you want to help someone like Antonio Brown, who he was offered an opportunity that he didn't deserve? That's the truth. All them football players are a joke. None of them are successful. Nobody looks at you as successful. Nobody cares what you did on that football field. Why? Because you were handed an opportunity. You didn't have to really, use soul and grit like me and go out and get it and create it yourself. You just were handed something, and you don't own anything. You're owned. Anyone plays for these leagues, you're owned. You work for these agencies, you're owned. I don't care what you say. You take orders from daddy government, then you answer to daddy government. And that's why y'all look for handouts. You wait for your paychecks on them. And I just don't want to do things like that. Never did, never will. It's pathetic. Like, any normal real man is going to want to make their own money, dude. That's just common sense. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to sit there and depend on anyone who can they can cut off your funding anytime they want. See it happen all the time. So this Antonio Brown character, he's so delusional. I think he was talking smack too and thought he had proven something. Like, dude, what you did, I don't call that crashing out. I call that just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was a joke. And you were scared. So, and then you give a victim statement. So those people in his group, they're constantly snitching, ratting, and giving victim statements, something that any real gang doesn't tolerate at all. It's something called discipline, right? Where's the discipline in the gangs? It doesn't exist. Exactly. That's why Tekashi 6ix9ine was used as an experiment by the feds, and they had him talk all this smack about dudes in O Block and the hood, and then they drop it off in a white unmarked van in the hood for 2 seconds with all the feds around protecting him, right? To film a little video, trying to antagonize, talking about people that we've actually lost in the struggle. See my point? These rappers and these celebrities, they're being funded to sell out all of you. They're being funded to literally sacrifice everyone they can. That means all the people close to them, their own family. 9 times out of 10, it's their own family. You can research any actual celebrity or fake famous person, and all of them had to do it because they sold to Satan. They took the oath of the Baphomet. They bowed down to Satan. You understand? Something I have nothing to do with and would never do. It's clearly not even an option because I'm not a Mason. I don't have any desire to be a Mason. Masons are my enemy. You understand? Illuminati is my enemy. I devoted my life and got their symbol tattooed on my forearm for a reason. Why? Because you have to study your enemy to know your enemy to defeat your enemy. See, I've done my homework. You understand? People, you want to get online and run your mouth. This is not the time for that, man. There's too much going on. You understand? This is the real time. You understand? And it's crazy to me because I just can't wait for God to give me the resources so I get busy in these other cities and states. Because the truth is, I mean, here it is what it is. Like, everything's already good here. So this doesn't really matter. But I'm just doing my training and doing my thing. And I get my honks and my fan base and I promote. It's fun. You know, there doesn't have to be anything tough about it anymore. It just doesn't. Because I've already done all that. I already proved my point. completely. So we're not in a mode where we're crashing out and we're in desperation and I'm who should be. That's the craziest part. These people, they all have it good. You know, they're being provided for by this system, and this system is doing everything for them. So, what would be the issue, right? And how could people not understand what it actually is and what it entails? You know, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy, bro. But yeah, Antonio Brown, I mean, in any world that I've ever lived in, which is one, in this universe, you do something like that because you're a coward. And this is how all them dudes end up in that alpha pod. This is how they get the highest profile cases. Not because they're gangsters, because they're scary. Why? Because you built an environment that doesn't operate off respect. And these cowards are running around pretending that that's a tough thing to do. That's the weakest thing you can do. What? If you don't stand with your hands, you ain't no man. It's just that simple. You're a joke. You're a pawn. And most of them, let's get real, most of them, really, most of them end up, you know, honestly, with the system being a statistic. There's another one, selfish entitled. It's ridiculous, man. They have no empathy. It's just all about me, 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 but yet none of them are doing it. I keep on pointing it out. I don't care. So yeah, like I said, we're not in that mode. We don't think like y'all, right? And if anything, right, as far as turning up, right, Batman has been the one who's always turned up and gone 0 to 100, right? Batman has made a career doing that. That comes from my culture, from my people, from my group. Y'all ain't never been about that. What? That's why y'all don't even want me around. That's odd. When I would work them temp jobs, that fools was sitting there and they was jealous and mad, right? And they didn't even want me around. The dude I was working for, technically, he was like the boss of the deal when we would move furniture. He was telling me stuff like, he's like, yeah, bro, he's like, you look like you run this whole company. You know, that's the way they see themselves. They don't even have any self-confidence or believe in themselves, you know? And I was out there probably like in the shelter and getting hotels and just surviving, right? And I basically had problems with everyone that was there because they were all, you know, trying to target me like usual, but just talking. And I wasn't having it. So I told them, like, what's up? Like I did everybody. And they all back down, you know, and then I see them in the street and they avoid me and hide and back down. All of Austin is shook, man. You gotta understand, all of Austin's already scared of me. I come through in this bat suit, you know what I mean? People gonna stay out of my way, bro, because they could just tell. And a lot of them probably remember my face a little. And they're gonna be like, yeah, nah, that's him. Like, I'm the chosen one. That's what y'all don't get. I really walk these streets dolo like a monster. I don't care where I'm at. I really run things. I'm really, really the real deal. Okay? Really the mob. You feel me? So, like I said, we move different. We ain't worried about nothing you talking about, bro. I don't know what y'all even running your mouth for, because your whole formula ain't nothing about that tough. Y'all some cowards. It's that simple. I don't care what you talking about, bro. We see things way different than y'all, man. Y'all believe in that fake stuff and that fake ideology, bro. We don't care about that. Whatever you do as a coward, that's cowardly, man. You don't get no points for that. Not over here. Not with us. Not with my folks. Not with my people. We laugh at stuff like that. Like, dang, what a coward. You feel me? How is that not cowardly? If you can't stand with your hands, that's cowardly. Listen, homie, I don't wear this bulletproof vest because I'm scared. I don't wear this bulletproof vest because I have to, because I don't. I wear it because I build my own bat suits and I'm the real thing. You understand? I wear it because it's just smart and it's necessary for what I do, because I'm coming up against everybody in the streets anywhere I go. I'm coming up against these illegal organizations and I'm putting out of business, and every member of their crew I'm putting in prison. You understand? That's why I wear it. It's pretty self-explanatory for what I do. Like I said, my entire purpose in my career is to stop these people. They're evil, you understand? And everything you do is going to be stopped. I don't care how you feel. You understand? We're not asking anybody for permission. We've been doing what we're doing. We're going to keep doing it. And these people, they're scared. They're shook. You understand? They're not scared of the government or their agencies. They're scared of me. You understand? And I have no jurisdiction. So I can do what I want. Straight up. You understand? I can show up where I want. I can fly where I want. Batman just appears in the middle of the night. So what? Y'all fools worried about the wrong things, man. Y'all better get your priorities straight. Real talk, bro, because we laughing. Y'all is funny. All of them, they funny as hell. I ain't never seen nothing like it. Like, legit. It is just weird. It's weird that we sitting here trying to deal with the issues that come from doing all this. It ain't easy, man. Ain't none of this easy. And y'all don't want to provide a dime when it takes money to do things. It's just weird. There we go. There's another honk. They went out their way to honk at Batman. That's cool. So we got fans. Like I said, we have some kind of support. I just wish it was financial. All right. But we got fans, and I keep doing this because it's not just for me, it's for the people. You know what I mean? But like I said, this is just about the facts and about reality, man. I mean, Antonio Brown, what he could be looking at is insane. I mean, this is happening every day. It happened with that thing in Vegas. And what did he do? He painted his face like the Joker. That's a spiritual thing, man. Then he was trying to act like he was the voice of the reason. I heard him talking. I watched that back after. Some of the videos that made it out. There's another one. What are you stopping on the highway for, man? On the front of it. It's a woman driving too and just stopping on the frontage road. You don't do that. Coming off the highway, you don't do that. That's what I'm saying, man. You know, you got people. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. They got kids. They got kids and they can't raise their kids right. And they don't know what they're doing. You feel me? That's the problem. You know, it's a bunch of adults who don't know how to adult. And then we wonder why we got these generations doing this type of stuff. Because the younger generations are lost, man. The younger generations are all weird as hell. And they're all demonically possessed. They don't know what the hell's going on. It's not all their fault. I don't know if any of it is their fault. You know? They just don't know. There's another honk from the highway. So, like I said, I do this for real. This is what I do. This is my job. It will always be my job. Tied in tight with this Batman stuff. It's not to promote no music. It's not to be cute. This is my real career and what I do. I'm Batman. So, we got the streets shook. We run everything. And yet every day, that group, if we want to call them that, provides another example of reality, of how they're nobody and nothing, and how they continue to crash out. The crash out is a negative connotation, right? Because, I don't know, man, because, like, my people, you couldn't call what we've done crashing out. Like, we created Frontier Justice. Go look that up. Go look up the Boyce Sneed feud. That's my family. My ancestors created Frontier Justice. So everything that y'all talking and kicking, my people and my family and my DNA invented. You're looking at it. I'm the 5th generation. I have a V on my name. What? I'm the literal DNA to Beale Sneed. Go look up what Beale Sneed did in the hotel lobby in Fort Worth. I mean, my family is actual gangsters, just real talk, that did everything in broad day and didn't care. Okay, and he got off with it. Okay, so all this stuff that y'all be kicking, all of them, I don't care who it is online, none of y'all about none of that. So hush, be quiet. You understand? See, that's the thing. They run in their mouth. I don't know who's telling people to run their mouth online. I don't know what that is. Like I said, it just seems like the same old trying to run fake game, and they think they tricking someone. And yeah, you trying to provoke gangsters. That's soft. I'm unprovocable, man, because I don't care about y'all because you're soft. You're softer than Mott's applesauce. You're like Red Pill. Ha! Ah, for real. Hi, Red Pill. Everywhere. Quit territory, Tyree. It's quit territory. That boy is shook. That boy is scared of this Batman. That boy is shook. So because they scared, they like little Chihuahua dogs. They get online and start barking. That's all. That's them. Boy, I was all fans, man. Come on, bro. You never talk like that to me. You're a fan. None of that stuff makes me feel anywhere, scares me in the slightest, much less 3 foot tall pigeons. I'm not worried about. And then when you tell them, right, you think that they would stop it, and then they go do it some more. I mean, it's just weird. This is addictive behaviors, I guess. They just can't stop, right? Can't stop till you get enough. They'll be making videos saying my name, and I have nothing to do with nothing they're talking about. Like, that's like me taking a goldfish's name. Let's say my goldfish is named Lion, and I just say, Lion did this today. Lion was involved in this, but Lion is sitting in his fish tank, minding his business, not doing anything. That's hilarious. That's literally what they do. Tyree, blah, blah, blah. Tyree is just chilling. Like, how can I be doing so much if I'm just sitting down? What? And it's funny, but it's not, because what they're doing is all with malicious intent. You understand? There's nothing funny about it, right? Because they just don't like seeing the man win, right? Which is what I figured out. Hey, you got a problem with a real man? I'm the only one. That's what this about. Like I said, I just think y'all funny, man. I don't worry about the things you worry about. I saw a short video about the comic book with Batman, and Wonder Woman said Batman is basically a god, and the Robin or whoever, or the son or something, felt like he would never live up to the dad's legacy and stuff. I mean, I sure hope that when Christina and I have kids, I hope they don't go through that, genuinely. But I don't think it would be like that, because, like, if I have a son, I would raise my son right, spend nothing but time with him, and if he wanted to do what I do, I'd teach him. You know what I mean? I would never hold somebody back from what they want to do if it's something that they really want to do and they believe in it. You know what I mean? But I would just have to see if that's what they want to do. If that's what they're meant to do. I also would never steer anybody wrong, or try to encourage anybody to do what I do. Like, if we have a son, I wouldn't want my son to do what I do at all. You know what I mean? No matter how tough he is, if he was tougher than me, I just wouldn't want him to do it. It's common sense when you care and love someone. But that's the thing. It's just these younger generations, man. They're out of control, man. I mean, they try to act like adults. That's the problem, and they want to make the rules, and it's like, you don't make the rules. I'm telling you, in this day and age, it doesn't matter. They will try to talk to grown folks like they in charge, And that stuff is played out, and it's because the parents are spoiling them rotten, and there's no discipline, and they're entitled, and they really think that that's normal or okay. It makes sense. Like, nah, bro, it's not how it works. Real talk. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm old school. Like, no, it just doesn't work that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. Like my dad was all about discipline, except my dad was mean. My dad, he's out of control. He took it a lot farther. Well, my dad was scary. Like, real talk. In high school, I literally said, like, I have to get away from him. You know what I mean? Like, I just have to, because, like, because I'm standing up for myself, you know? But it is what it is. Like I said, I stood up to him that one time for real, and he was in shock. He was like, he had the red pill look for a minute. And I brought it up later. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He tried to erase it from his memory. Like, well, yeah, you kept talking smack to me. Like, I'm a human being. I don't play that. You just sit there and belittle me stuff. I don't care who you are. And see, these people know. My dad was bigger than me, bro. Dad was the only man I ever feared, ever. He was huge. So that's part of the problem, is these people, they don't get it. Got a homeboy out here. I helped that guy yesterday when he got out of the car, as always. Hey, Don. But yeah, I helped him make his phone call. Doing good? Helped him make his phone call yesterday. And I don't know, I felt good about it. He interrupted me when I was recording a video, so it is what it is. But hello, Fido. That guy seems all right. He seems cool. At least he says hi and he's nice. I hadn't seen him until recently, and I've seen him a couple of times. He seems chill. Seems cool. But yeah, man, like I said, it's just Batman has a job to do. Batman is going to be fully booked. I'm not here to look cute. I'm not here to pose. I'm here to get busy, but it's just I need the money from God, because see, I would have already been in these other cities and states pulling up right on your block. I don't do no talking. I'm not fake. You know what I mean? Like, real talk, when God gives me this money, I'm going to be pulling up. I'm going to be showing up for real. You know what I mean? I'm going to all them hoods too. I don't care where you at. I don't care where it's at. I'll pull up right on Crenshaw and Slauson. Batman don't care. Batman is from the hood for real. You feel me? And I mean, imagine Batman pulling up in Slauson and where Nipsey Hussle was, as if he was anybody, right? They're all laughing. They're a work crew. Imagine him pulling up on Slauson. You think people are not going to, there's a honk. You think people are not going to run from me? They're going to run, bro. They're going to be terrified. And there's 5-0. It had numbers on it, meaning it was telling me to walk still. But yeah, man, end of the day, it is what it is. We're going to keep on doing our thing. Like I said, it's not complicated for me. I just wake up and be Batman and talk about these issues, and but that's my whole deal, man. I can't wait to get the money because I'm pulling up. Real talk. And like, I just know the public is going to love it. They're going to be like, there's this white man, there's an actual Batman, and he's pulling up in the hood and telling them what to do. That's exactly what's going to happen. You feel me? They can do all the woofing they want. Like, it is what it is. I live for that. I don't do no woofing. Feel me? Like, I didn't do bar security for 6, 7 years and not be able to hold my own and learn a thing or two, bro. You know, I didn't basically run the jails and hold my own in every single one of them. Not just hold my own, but scream on dudes and they did nothing about it. You know, I didn't do all that to think that, oh, I'm not me. And the thing is, my suits, I have two right now that I built myself. They're all efficient. They work. They're functional. But I'm going to be building more fully functional, like more protective, more coverage, hopefully complete coverage suits. And I'm so fast, it's ridiculous. So when I get the Bat Pod and I'm rolling through Chicago, you got to understand when I'm rolling on that Bat Pod thingamajigger. Oh, better not say that. It's kind of close to another word. Thingy, whatever. When I got that Bat Pod, I'm rolling through. That's a bulletproof Batman, which y'all got to get. I'm already the immortal vampire, and then I got a suit that's supposed to be fully bulletproof, as much as possible. And I'm talking like we're trying to prep it where it can handle anything. All that stuff that they got in hoods in Chicago, it needs to be proved to handle that. Because if anything happens and somebody just feels froggy and they see Batman coming by and they, do whatever they do, I have to, it has to be resistant enough to repel all that. So it's just that simple, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. It's gonna be cool, man. You know, and that stuff like that, that's how the hood is. It happens in the hood. You know, so if one of them wants to be dumb, it ain't gonna do nothing to me, and they're gonna be like, "What the hell?" Like, they're gonna be like, "That dude's a real thing," you know. And obviously, at that point, I would stop and get off the Bat Pod, right? You understand? Like, come on, bro. We're not giving no passes. We're not letting nothing slide. I don't care where I'm at. So it is what it is, man. People talk. I mean, all the fake internet stuff is just silly because I'm not that guy. If I was a poser, if I was fake, I could understand. But I'm the real deal Holyfield, and I have a job to do, and this is my business. So my business is going to be getting busy in the streets of Chicago. Like I said, there was cars 6 deep with dudes from Chicago, and I was on foot with no bat suit on, and they was running away from me. Like drove away, sped away because they got back down, and they who started the issue. Like, we really about this street stuff, so it's just different. This is what I live for. So, like I said, the whole point is, I mean, everybody's going to see what it is relatively quickly, but I think I'm going to be in a different suit and I may be unideable. You feel me? But this is the thing. My job is not to bully or pick on anyone. It's not to go, do crazy stuff. It's to preserve peace, actually, and protect people. And it's to remain efficient and remain, a symbol of justice and a symbol of fear for all these evil people and criminals and the real criminals and the corrupt. And that's what it's about. So there still is a degree of self-preservation, but I'm just saying, if there's a problem in these places, I'm going to do what I need to do to protect people. You feel me? So, and like I said, Batman ain't nothing but hands, and I'm in a bulletproof suit. So that's the point. Is we on some so gangsta stuff, all that stuff that y'all kicking, and what you tote and you promote that you're tough for using or whatever. All that stuff don't work on Batman. At least that's the concept and point. Batman ain't nothing but hands. So yes, I'm saying just me with my hands and bare hands is enough to protect myself against anyone and anything. And I don't care what they got on them, what they have, and who they with. Yes, that's the point of this. So it don't get no more gangster than that. That is what gangsta is. All that other stuff that y'all kicking, well, y'all do it to each other and go back and forth. I come from all the same environments you come from. Ain't never had that problem. Like I said, they tried to set me up like that in Green Bay. Right. And I talked about how Green Bay PD had everything to do with trying to set me up, right, with what they did. But like I said, I survived that. And I mean, it is what it is. You feel me? Like I'm saying, bro, I'm divinely protected, bro. I ain't worried about that stuff, man. There ain't nothing to worry about because it's all part of life. I feel like everything is just a challenge, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like any challenge can be conquered. I don't care what it is. And I feel like if you really believe in yourself, and you're an idea and a concept, like he said in that V for Vendetta movie, ideas, Mr. Kriege, are bulletproof. That's what I believe. We'll be right back in a minute.